right, my Italian food fanatics, today we're going to quickly go into the kitchen and get this recipe banged out. It is the exact same recipe as is used in the New York Times, except in certain areas I'm going to change one or two different things just to make it a little bit faster and easier. But other than that, it's the same. It's the technique of making the dish that's going to be different. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into the kitchen and make this thing. All right, let's get started, and we're going to do it very, very quickly this time. I'm going to speed through the video so that you won't have to wait around. So we're going to take our butter and our oil. They're all the same ingredients as we did in the first video, except the technique is a little bit different. You can see that we have a frying pan, and it is non-stick, okay? We're going to let this melt, and then we'll add the onions. All right, our butter has melted, and of course we have the oil in there. We're going to add in the onions now. And along with the onions, let me get these mixed up, we're going to add 1/2 of a cup of water and a little bit of salt. In fact, we'll do the salt right now. Just a little bit, not too much. We just want the salt to draw out the juices or the water of the onions. It seems counterintuitive that we're going to add salt and then we're going to add water, but you'll see what I mean in just a second. So we're going to add this 1/2 cup of water, and we're going to put it on high heat with a lid on for 10 minutes. I'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, it's been 10 minutes, and look at that. They haven't burned, but they've been on high heat, and what this does is it breaks down the onions. So now we're going to mix them up a little bit and continue to caramelize. I'm not going to bother you or bore you with that, but this allows now the steam to escape after they've broken down, and this will cut our time probably by about at least 15, if not, 40 minutes, something like that, depending on how you caramelize the onions. Anyway, also one other thing, we're going to add 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda mixed in with a little bit of water. And what that does is that changes the pH and allows the onions to caramelize a little bit faster. Cooking is chemistry. Okay, I'll be back when these onions are caramelized. Okay, we're back. Now, the water has evaporated, and believe it or not, because of the baking soda, you can see how the onions have broken down. All right? Now you can add the baking soda later once they begin to caramelize. I added it before because I want this to be a homogeneous sauce. So anyway, that's your choice. I just wanted to show you what it looks like just before they're starting to caramelize. Okay, we're almost there. I just wanted to show you this. The secret here is to constantly be stirring. All right, get yourself a spatula if it's a non-stick like this, and you have to constantly stir. In the meantime, over here, you can't see it, but I put the stock in a regular pot. I've actually added 1 cup more than what the recipe says because we're going to cook the pasta in the stock. I'll come back when this is almost finished. I'll come back when it's done and we're ready to move on. Okay, as you can see, they're very well caramelized now. I'm going to pour these out onto a paper towel and sort of drain the butter, and I'll be back. Okay, continuing on. Here are your onions. We're going to add a little bit of garlic in there. We're going to move these around for about 30 seconds. We're going to add a little pepper. Just like we did before. And it doesn't seem as if there's enough fat in the pan, but there's plenty. It's all amongst those onions, so we're not going to add any more. All right? So we're going to move this around a little bit until it's fragrant, and then we're going to add our Worcestershire. Let that cook down. Now we'll add the white wine. Basically to deglaze. Then we'll add our cream and thyme. Put a little bit of thyme in here first. Move this out of there. And then the cream. And in the meantime, while this comes to temperature, we're going to cook our pasta. Okay, our pasta is in the water. It's the same rigatoni. Everything's the same except where I indicate it's different from what we did last time, okay? So we're going to mix this up, and then when the pasta is ready, we're going to bring it into this mixture here, the condimenti, and we're going to cook it the rest of the way, the last few minutes, with a little bit of the stock, okay? So that it properly coats the pasta instead of being a soupy mess like before. I'll be back. Okay, what I've done is also taken some stock from the pot that the pasta is cooking in, added it in here, just a couple ladlefuls, and mixed it up. All right, the pasta is just a couple of minutes shy of al dente. I'm going to turn on the condimenti or the sauce, and we're going to move the pasta into the frying pan. This is a great tool, by the way. I'll put a link to it in the description below, an affiliate link. And we begin mixing because I got it back on high heat. And now we're going to mix the condimenti or the sauce in with the pasta. Now, of course, as is usual, if there is a need to add more pasta, or pardon me, and need to add more pasta water or stock in this case, we'll do so. In the meantime, I've also turned on the oven to broil because we're going to make another little change. See, we're going to need a little bit of that cooking water or stock, essentially, so that we don't have a complete nothing dry on our hands. It can actually get loose and then evaporate and coat the pasta properly. In the meantime, we're also going to add our Parmesan cheese. Okay? And this is the same requisite amount that is in the recipe. It needs a couple more minutes, and it needs a little bit more pasta water or stock. Believe it or not, because we caramelized the onions the way that we did, it's kind of sweet. It is awesome. And it's much lighter than the one I made in the previous video. And we're going to take this moment and add a little bit of salt. We're going to add a little bit more stock. Just to loosen it a bit. See that? See how it coats the pasta properly rather than being a big old mess. Let's taste again. Pasta is almost done. So I'll plate it up and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Now watch. We'll add the Gruyere cheese, not the requisite amount for the whole thing, but just a little bit on top like this. And then we're going to put it in the broiler. Well, here it is, my Italian food fanatics. Let's give it a little taste and see if it measures up to what I think it will. You can see what I did was I took the Gruyere, I put it on top, and we put it under the broiler so that it is like a French onion soup, essentially, right? And of course, when you have that caramelization or a little bit of burning on there, that makes the cheese taste just that much better. Bon appetit. Of course, there's no soupy mess. That's the truth. The pasta is properly cooked. It's properly coated. This is a little bit more trouble than the one pot. I got to give Toni that, but it's really good. The way that I caramelized the onions made them very, very sweet. We drained off some of that butter, which in the beginning is not going to look that good, but it's going to take a lot of calories out of their unnecessary oil. If I were to do it again, I would eliminate the butter and I would just use the oil in the recipe, okay? Wow, that tastes great. So, as far as taste is concerned, there is no difference. It's just less soupy. The other one was like eating a cream sauce almost. The textures are right there, and the time that it takes, a little bit less time, probably about a half an hour less, and you'll have to wash a couple more pots, but this is a more refined way of cooking the pasta, all right? Again, the one pot is one pot, but you saw when you have to cover the pasta with stock in the first episode, then you're stuck with this sauce. And by reducing it down, you're just concentrating salt, especially with store-bought stock. So you want to get the low sodium stock if you're going to do this way, or make your own. Of course, stock normally, handmade or from scratch stock, shouldn't have any salt in it whatsoever. I know there are some people that put salt in it after it's done. That is apropos, but in reality, you shouldn't salt the stock. As far as until it's done, you taste it and then you can add salt to bring it to taste. But other than that, you don't add salt at all. I'll let you go. I'm going to finish this bowl. It's delicious. I hope you try it. Please like and subscribe. Ring the bell. Sharing is caring. Tell your friends. And leave a comment if you want. I hope that make all your meals from now soigné. Wherever you are in the world, I wish you nothing but the very best. Thank you.